òṣèré gómìnà ìlú òṣèré o alága ìbílẹ̀ ẹ ṣeré mòwe ẹ ṣeré ó dára ẹ ṣeré ó dára o.
Some prominent Nigerians have described the call for interim government in Nigeria as an anomaly to democracy. This was made known at a press briefing by the founder of Jehovah Eye Salvation Ministry and member of the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council (APC-PCC) at Watercrest Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos on Saturday. Ikuru made it known that Tinubu's eventual emergence at the keenly contested election was the plan of God, as he called on the anti-democracy players to desist from their plot.
This election was done free and fair election. The Labour Party does not have any of their candidates in government. Today they have several of their members in the House of Assembly. Today they have several of their members in the House of Representatives. Today they have a governor. If the election was rigged, they will not have any chance of their members in none of this office of authority today. And today, Baba Ahmed, which is the VP to P2B, is calling for interim government. And some groups of people are calling for interim government. This election was done free and fair election. This election was no ring. People challenging the authenticity of the INEC. The INEC did their job. That job was properly done.
Ikuru condemned the actions and words of anti-democracy actors, especially from the opposition, who had called for military takeover of the country, as he commented that the election was free, fair and credible. He went on to call on security agencies, especially the police and men of the Department of State Security, to arrest and prosecute those sponsoring the provocative narratives.
To call on division, to call on war, to call on killing, to call on violence, calling on interim governments. Whosoever that made a video should be arrested with immediate effect and also be investigated. We want to know who are behind this interim government. We are calling on the police and everyone to watch and safeguard this nation at this time.
On his part, Mr. Bayo Ilupeju espoused that concluding that this election was not fair would be an unfair judgment on INEC and the entire conduct of the election, as it could be adjudged the best so far in the history of the country, especially since the return of democracy in 1999.
Nigeria is moving forward a step at a time. Yes, we may not be exactly where we want to be, but we have to always acknowledge the truth. This last election, yes, we have a decline. The number of voters and all that is reduced. The number of votes casted. However, it was fair by all ramifications. And that's if you're using logic to measure it. Say you want to do a percentage of all the places that voting was done, the number of polling units. In Lagos, we know we have over 13,000 people. And so if we have skirmishes in maybe about 500 places, of what percentage did that give us? So for me, it was a free and fair elections. And then when we go to call it for interim government, I mean, who does that at this present age and time? When some people actually fought for this democracy, some were exiled for years, and then we are coming back to now say, okay, let's bring the military. Let the people who are raising these questions actually answer them sincerely.
Other speakers concluded that due attention must be paid to the unscrupulous element threatening to truncate the democratic practice in Nigeria with their ill-advised call for military takeover of the country.
The number we are seeing now is the real number we are supposed to be having. It's not about the voters decline and all that. This is the reality on the table that we are seeing at the moment. So, for those who are calling for the interim government and all that, that's not known to our law, number one. But they are just, I believe they want to be relevant. They just want to be relevant. Maybe till 2027, as the case may be. But they are calling for what is unknown to our law, and it's not healthy for our democracy. It's not healthy for our country. I think they should desist from doing that.
I say no to interim government because we've been enjoying free flow of transition from 1999 till date. I don't see why anybody will be calling for interim government, because the election, to me, and from what all Nigerians have seen, we've spent over 300 billion naira. So do you want us to spend more money in this scarce resources? No, those money should be used to help and build hospitals, schools for the people, and maybe probably industries, so that our teeming youths can be gainfully employed.
In fact, we have not seen this type of election before. It's not an election you go into and you go and sleep in your house like it used to be in those days. So I'm now calling on the Department of State Services to dig into this matter and bring all the people involved to justice.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu wouldn't have emerged as the president-elect if God did not sanction it. He wouldn't have emerged as the president-elect if God Almighty did not sanction it. And if you go through the election, early last year, after he won the primaries, I met with the prophet. He said, Apostle, what do you think about this election? I said, if you asked me, I would have aligned with Obi. He laughed. He told me, my brother, God has spoken, and God has showed him that Asiwaju is going to emerge the president. I immediately checked myself. And who can say a thing it cometh to pass when God has not permitted it? So we must understand that the things of the spirit is different from the physical. And it is the spirit that controls the physical.